All right, Shalom. First and foremost, I want to give all praise, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahweh Shai, Ba'ashem, Rakah Kodash. I want to give double honors to my apostle and elders, Great Millstone, who teach very well. While not this truth from and citation out there to the hopeful elect who continue to push this word in our truth, faith, and sincerity. And today, just basically touching on the downfall or the end of America as we know it. Because it's not like it's dragging his feet anymore. No, man. It's really in everybody's face that this place, once known as Babylon the Great, the Golden City, is not what it used to be. The Union have fell apart. The infrastructure is failing. You know, the economy is tanking down. And these are all the signs to show you that Yahweh Shai is finna get ready to take this place down, man. And rightfully so. Matter of fact, I'm going to start off with this in the book of Isaiah 24. And I'm going to start at verse 10. It says, the city of confusion is broken down. Yes, and that city of confusion is really talking about America, or better known as Babylon the Great. Because even once you go into the word Babylon or Babel, actually it goes into what? Confusion. Not only do they confuse you about gender swapping, they confuse you about which laws to keep. You know, they confuse you about what's right and what's wrong. He even tells us that they make light as darkness and darkness as light. So again, under the banner of this so-called white man, everything is turned upside down. And ultimately, everything being turned upside down, it means it must be destroyed before everything be turned right side up. Because like the scriptures also says how corruption cannot inherit incorruption, man. You know? So just going back, Isaiah 24 and verse 10, it says the city of confusion is broken down. Every house is shut up that no man may come in. Yes, nobody is shopping here anymore. Even the big box office places like Toys R Us, Sears, Macy's, J.C. Penney, the Pillars of America, all those things are taken. You know, some of them already are taken out. Let's continue on. There is crying for wine in the streets. All joy is darkened. And there's no coincidence why a lot of these people over here in the West, they're heavily medicated. It's a thing called sad seasonal annual depression. But these people are depressed all year out. And the reason why is because the so-called white man is in power. The scriptures clearly says when the righteous are in authority, the people rejoice. But when the wicked beareth rule, what? The people mourn. And there's a lot of mourning going on, man. Whether it be in the form of you sighing and crying because you got to get up and work in the morning, or sighing and crying because the bill coming, man. Or sighing and crying because the police pulled you over, man. Or sighing and crying because this guy is in power, you know? Let's go ahead and continue on. The mirth of the land is gone. And America was once known as the city of lights, a place that you want to go to escape the horrors of a third world country. You know, you look at certain movies like Home Alone, New York City, and all, you know, Wolf on Wall Street. And these pictures of America as this beautiful place. Not knowing once you come over here, it's a whole different thing. And that shows you that into coming into America, man. You thought America was going to be this peaceful and righteous place. But when you came over here, it was something totally different, you know? And again, these are the different signs to show you that this place have lost its luxury, you know? Let's go ahead and get this real quick. This is the book of Daniel 2, and I'm going to start at verse 19. It says, then was the secret revealed unto Daniel in a night vision. Then Daniel blessed the power of heaven. Daniel answered and said, blessed be the name of the Most High, Yahweh Shai, forever and ever, for wisdom and might are his. And he changeth the times and the seasons. He removeth kings and setteth up kings. And that's what we're in the process of right now. He's removing this kingdom, this rulership, the so-called white man, while he's setting up the third temple. You know, the Israelites, man. In the midst of it. Let's continue on. It says he giveth wisdom unto the wise and knowledge to them that know understanding. And that's how we know that this kingdom was going to continue to fall, because we have got what? The wisdom, knowledge, and understanding of the scriptures, man. The ultimate wisdom, man. Because he even tells you that the wisdom of wickedness is not wisdom. So the wisdom that Esau working with, he's really not working with nothing, man. The only thing that this guy's really working with is the sword and deceit now. And that's fading away because now everyone have that button, you know. Everyone can fact check, and this thing that's going on when Trump finna meet with Putin in Alaska next week, not knowing that that's not going to change anything. It's already predestinated for World War III to happen. It's already predestinated for America to be taken down. And really, it's nothing that these leaders of these countries can do except play out their lot. Let's go ahead and get there in the book of Proverbs real quick. Because all these peace talks and the ending of wars, no, man. Even tells us that it's going to be wars and rumors of wars. It's going to increase as we get closer and closer to the end. It's Proverbs 21 and verse 1. The king's heart is in the hand of the Lord. As the rivers of water, he turneth it whithersoever he will. So it's Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushua who be in the mind of these different rulers, man. Whether they finna take over Ukraine or whether they finna bomb Israel, Iran again, man. All these different things is the will of Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushua. But once, you look at the bigger picture, you can see why all these things are going on. Because for the ones who are, outside the temple, it looks like a whole bunch of scattering. It looked like a whole bunch of mess. But this is a work of art, man, of the Lord basically meticulously taking down this society. Because even once you go into the tariffs that this guy just recently pushed out, a lot of countries, like, they didn't care. And a lot of tariffs that he said he was going to put, he went back on it. He lowered some of them. But that also shows you the desperation of Esau, Edom, man, in their countries, man. And again, all these things show you that this kingdom is being taken down. Now, real quick, finna get this real quick. It says FBI, and it just shows you that, we are at the end of this society, at the end of this kingdom. Because of why Esau, he's fighting within himself. The white man already got power, but they trying to see which Edomites are going to have power, showing you that this kingdom is going to get ready to fall. This is CBS News. FBI will help track down Texas Democrats who left state, Senate John Cornyn says. Now, once you go over there with the Texas Democrats and Republicans, no, it ain't nothing but a WWE Royal Rumble that's going on, a 6-man tag. And ultimately, they're just trying to get the majority. But let's read a little bit of it. It says, Texas Republicans have been trying to bring the Democrats back so there are enough lawmakers on the floor for a quorum which would enable them to vote on new congressional maps likely to increase the GOP advantage in the state. Texas requires 2/3 of the House or 100 of the 150 representatives to be present for the quorum. It is unclear. It is unclear what the laws the legislatures might have broken that would involve the FBI. Texas Governor Greg Abbott has called for a civil arrest. In the spirit of Civil War, civil arrest, and said he had ordered the Texas Department of Public Safety to force them to return, but Texas DPS does not have jurisdiction outside the state, and that makes the FBI get involved. But again, this all shows you that this guy is, being taken out, man. This guy, he's taking himself out. The scripture says their tongue shall fall upon themselves. But let's go right here to the book of Isaiah, the 19th chapter. This is Isaiah 19 and verse 2. I will set the Egyptians against the Egyptians. And that's really the Edomites against the Edomites, man. The bondage men against the bondage men, Because at the end of the day, these people, they don't want nothing beneficial unto you. They say it's going to increase GOP and, a whole bunch of fancy words. They're going to throw around a couple numbers. Unemployment rates have decreased. But guess what? It's going to be the same situation for you Black, Latinos, and Native Americans, Because again, the only thing that they're doing in these congressional meetings or councils is the things that's beneficial unto them, Let's go ahead and continue on. It says, and they shall fight everyone against his brother, and everyone against his neighbor, city against city, and kingdom against kingdom. Yes, man. So guess what? Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushua, he's making Esau fall upon himself from the inside out. And that's how it is a lot of times when playing these sports or anything. Once you see two teammates arguing within each other, you already know you won. Why? Because they fell apart, man. They bickering. They ain't doing it on the sideline. They doing it in front of everybody. Because a lot of things like this will be left behind closed doors. But this is a public showing that America is finna get ready to get taken down. Let's jump over here to the book of Matthew, the 12th chapter. It says the same thing. But it also tells you what? This is the book of Matthew 12. And I'm going to jump down to verse 28. It says, matter of fact, verse 26, Salakia. 25, it says, and Yahushua knew their thoughts and said unto them, every kingdom divided against itself is brought to desolation. Yes, man. So every kingdom brought against itself is brought to desolation. What does that mean? Y'all popping heads. Continuing on. It says, in every city or house divided against itself shall not stand. So the kingdom of America, better known as Babylon the Great, it will not stand here in these latter days. This is a sign to show you that this guy's on his last leg, that the city of confusion is being broken down right before your eyes. Continuing on. Because again, they would have, if they had any type of decorum or anything, they would have kept this thing in-house. But it's on news. If you see these Democrats, the FBI, we're going to bring them in here and we're going to force them to be in here so we can pass this law. Again, it's not, they don't have no specific thing what they want to pass or not. It's not no real thing or why, what happened. Because it says right here, Abbott and Corn have raised allegations of bribery, showing you that it's people getting paid off. And matter of fact, real quick, it says it's brought up bribery, but it just shows you that people is getting paid off and that this system is corrupt. And how ultimately this system is not of Yahweh Shem Yahushua. This system is not governed by the Lord. So this is the reason why it's being broken down. This is the book of Job 15, and I'm going to start at verse, this is the book of Job 15, and I'm going to start at verse 34. For the congregation of hypocrites shall be desolate. And, we already know that the so-called white man is the biggest hypocrite ever. Continuing on, it says, and fire shall consume the tabernacles of bribery. And once you go into it, that's what America is really ran on. These different congressmen. I give you this much if you decrease taxes for the rich, different things like that. But it also shows you that a lot of these people here have no integrity, man. But let's go ahead and continue on. It says, Abbott and Corey have raised allegations of bribery since the lawmakers' quorum break is being funded by donations from various groups, including former Texas Rep. Beto O'Rourke, PAC, and other Democratic groups, in addition to travel expenses each Democrat faces of $500 a day. But it's not no real thing to these Edomites, but it just shows you that these people have no integrity and that they're breaking apart. Even these other Edomites or other people who are in Congress is not believing in this place. They don't even have, they don't even have, why would you believe in America when America don't even believe in itself, man? Tell you how this place is confused, conceited. Ultimately, it must be destroyed. So going back into Matthew 12, in verse 25 again, and Yahushua knew their thoughts and said unto them, every kingdom divided against itself is brought to desolation, and every city or house divided against itself shall not stand. So this kingdom of Esau would not stand here in these latter days. Why? Because it's going to make way for the kingdom of heaven. Continuing on. And they'll saying, cast out, saying he is divided against himself. How shall then his kingdom stand? So his kingdom ultimately will not stand. His kingdom ultimately will come into an end, and it's happening right before our eyes, man. And things like this, the Democrats and the Republicans, they got the FBI searching for certain people, man. Just so they won't push forth a certain law. What happened to being under grace, under God, indivisible, liberty, and justice for all? What happened to all those things? They're thrown out the window. Why? Because the so-called white man is in power. So yeah, I pray this video was edifying. I want to give our praise, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahushua, Bahashem, Rakakwadash. I want to give up our honors to my apostle, elders, great millstone, and Shalom.